Good evening. I'm Vincent Price, and this is an exciting night on mystery, for we welcome back the most popular detective in the world, Sherlock Holmes. Tonight we begin a two-part tale based on the most famous of the longer stories that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote about Holmes, The Sign of Four. In the late 1880s, Conan Doyle was a struggling young doctor, intent on writing historical romances, an intention that wasn't proving very practical. So to make ends meet, he'd recently dashed off a short novel called A Study in Scarlet, in which he'd introduced the world to the character of Mr. Sherlock Holmes of London. It was purely a moneymaker for the author. He had no plans of ever writing about Holmes again, and so he went back to his historical romances. It was during the summer of 1889 that an American publisher visiting London arranged what sounds to me like a most interesting dinner party. One guest was Conan Doyle, who hoped to be contracted to write a historical novel. Also at the dinner table was the current rascal of London society, Mr. Oscar Wilde. By the time dessert was served that evening, Wilde had been commissioned to write The Picture of Dorian Gray. But the American wanted Conan Doyle to put history aside and write another Sherlock Holmes novel. The young doctor had a family to support, and so he agreed to write The Sign of Four. Tonight's story introduced many of the great detective's characteristics which we now take for granted. His superhuman powers of deduction, his disdain for the London Metropolitan Police, his confirmed bachelorhood, even his taking of cocaine. And although Conan Doyle was still new at the detective business, he knew what the public wanted: an exciting story with fascinating characters and an unsolvable puzzle. I think you'll agree that he delivers all of this and more in The Sign of Four.